Fam, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here. Today is Monday. It is April 14th. I appreciate you guys for joining me inside the comment box. Let me know where you're watching from as well. Rep your city inside the comment box or simply give a roll tide. Thank you so much. A lot to dive into today on the show. We're going to recap A-Day. We'll go over some fan attendance as well. I'll give you my take. I was at practice. I guess we were kind of figuring out, like, what would be the strategy. The strategy was I went to the practice, watched from the second deck. I used to watch in the nice, comfy media area, but it was nice. I was chilling. It was a great day. Took out the camera, watched the Alabama Crimson Tide, so I'll provide some further observations from the practice. Talk about the fan attendance. Was it low? Yeah, hell yeah, it was low. But at the same point, it's like, I don't know what people said. I didn't read any reports about how many people were there or whatever. If I had to just guess, if I was on a game show and they're like, how many people were there? I'd say 21,000 people. I don't know if I was on The Price is Right. Who knows? Did anybody see what the numbers were? I have no idea. I'm going to talk about college football right now and kind of the state of it. Kind of paired into the attendance, stuff going on with Nico out at Tennessee now that he's in the transfer portal. Talk about some A-Day risers, remaining question marks following this A-Day practice. And remember, the transfer portal opens up tomorrow. So hope that you got your taxes filed or you filed an extension. And the transfer portal. So you got tax day on the transfer portal day. All right. So a couple of things. Let me give some shout outs though before we get popping. Let's see. Okay. Crimson Tide football. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Max Tooney, my boy. Listen, Michelle, what's up? Good morning to you. I see you inside the comment box. Herman, good morning, always. Perfect attendance as usual. Chad Kennedy, my boy, what's up? Daniel Adams. What's going on? Daniel Adams, it sounds kind of like a beer, right? Maybe that's why I'm getting Samuel Adams, right? Rocket Town, what's up, man? Alex was there. Alex was at A-Day. We didn't run into each other, but I know he was there. You know who I saw? King's Family React. I saw a couple people at A-Day. It was nice. I always like to go to run into people. It's cool. All right, Robert Bradley Jr. What's up, man? Strong name for sure. I like that. Southern Red, what's up? Good morning to you. Appreciate you rocking with us this morning. Let's see. Kevin, man. What's up, Kevin? I appreciate it. Thanks for rocking with us. Ronald, what's going on? Cookie All Day's here? Yes. Cookie All Day. That just sweetened up the show. Boogie. What's up, Boogie? Bruce Watson. What's up, man? King's Family React, man. We saw each other. It was good, man. He brought out his son. God is good, man. That was cool. I loved it. All right. 20K? That's what I said. What did you guys hear? Someone said 17. What? Less than 20? I'm estimating on my game show 21,000. Ruben is saying 17. Probably 15. Okay, so I went over a little bit. There wasn't that many people. Look, and Chad Kennedy saying Kyron Lacey, RIP. Yeah, the whole story with that is just so sad. LSU wide receiver, passed away this weekend. Just totally sad. Jamie, what's up? I appreciate you being here. Good morning. Also, and we'll come back to this. Do we have any golf fans? I love golf. I've been playing a little bit more golf. You can catch me on the links. You can catch me. I haven't played North River lately. Indian Hills is a good course for sure. My favorite's North River. If I really had to settle my favorite courses in Tuscaloosa, it'd be North River 100%. But I'm starting to like the Dells, which is out. It used to be called Hidden Meadows. So if you're out in this area and you come, it's a public golf course. I like it. And you know what? Old Colony is great. I love the course, but Dells they're doing a good job. Plus, it's more playable at this point. The greens are rolling really nice. So you can catch me at Dells, and you can catch Mac. This was incredible, right? Rory McIlroy wins the Masters. What was crazy is he was minus 11. He was going into the final hole, and all he had to do was make like a 3-foot putt. He misses the putt, so him and Justin Rose go into a playoff, and he's able to win it on that first hole. So wins the Masters. It was dope. I love watching the Masters. It's great. The thing about, if you watch professional golf, they hit bad shots. They do. They'll hook it right. Something will go on the left. They'll go into the. But the thing that separates them is their recovery is 100%. You've never seen a golfer hit 2 consecutive bad shots, right? And I think that's kind of what separates a pro from an amateur, is the fact that they can absolutely recover. Plus, the real difference maker is the putting, right? I mean, these guys aren't even 2-putting. It's like they get onto the green, you can be 13, 20 feet out, and they're sinking stuff, right? And the short game is just impeccable. So it's all short game. That's where it's at. And you have McIlroy winning the Masters. And I think the purse, it was like 21 million. Chris from New Jersey is at the Masters on Friday? Are you kidding me? All right. So that was fun to watch. This whole situation is mind-boggling. But it's not, like, while it's super interesting and a lot going on here, I'm not really surprised that this is going on. And listen, I feel that this is going to happen continually. Now, the great thing about it was that Tennessee stood their ground, and they forced Nico to forced him to walk, right? So in case somehow you missed this, the returning starting quarterback for Tennessee, he was already getting $2 million. Tennessee did a lot for him. $2 million, that's what he's getting, okay? He wants more. The rumor is that he wanted $4 million. So he went to contract negotiations with Tennessee. Everybody's talking about this. And Tennessee and Josh Heupel were like, no. So he didn't show up to practice the next day, and that was it. So Tennessee moved on. Nico's in the transfer portal. And I think what's going to continue to happen in college football, and as I say at the bottom, I don't think this is going to be the last time. And here's the thing, and I don't, look, there's programs right now in college football. Alabama is one of them. They are putting all of their eggs into one basket of particular players, okay? All that player has to do is tell him, I want more money, or I'm leaving. Stay with me here, okay? This is true. Who is generating more revenue for the University of Alabama right now at this point in time? Ryan Williams or Kalen DeBoer? Did those 20,000 go to see Kalen DeBoer, or did they go to see Ryan Williams, who didn't even practice? That's how big he is. Because you can't have your franchise player even practicing because he needs to be 100% for the season, right? But did you see the line? I'm just saying, if Ryan Williams was to tell University of Alabama, yo, I want $20 million, they would have no choice but to just pay him. He's probably the most dynamic college football player that there is, period. And the collectives want money so they can pay the players. I'm also kind of curious, too, is and we'll never know where all that money goes, right? From Yale, Alabama. But I would imagine most of it goes to Ryan Williams. This was the line. This is from Nick Kelly. This is the line to get an autograph from Ryan Williams. You think they equally distribute this money? Do you think that all this money is being equally distributed among the players? Do you think it should be? Or do you think it should mainly go to Ryan? I don't know. I think those are the conversations that they're having. Do you see this? Someone even had a Ryan Williams sign his forehead. I think what will happen is you'll see more players kind of opting out, trying to restructure their contract. Right? Here's JTL inside the comment box. JTL is LSU fan. Kyle, I need 2-year membership or I'm unsubscribing. Yeah, 100%, bro. Kevin Lynch wants to solve it with contracts. They need to figure out how to put these kids under some sort of contract. And that's the scary thing with tomorrow coming up. And look, Alabama has clearly taken care of Ryan Williams in every shape or form. Plus, Ryan Williams is all in Alabama. But there's other marquee players across the country that tomorrow, look, they're going to be like, pay me. Or these bigger programs who have so much money, like a Texas A&M, a Texas, they're going to be able to go in and siphon these players out. And that's just kind of where we're at because there's lack of guardrails. And can you really get mad at the players about this? No. The players, like Ryan Williams, has earned every single thing that he deserves based on one thing, his playing ability. Plus, he has a hell of a personality, right? Drewski, what's up, man? But there's no guardrails, so you can't fault the players. Now, the stuff with Nico, the contract didn't go well. Good for Tennessee to stand their ground because Nico hasn't earned that $4 million. Now, if he was a returning Heisman favorite, if he had thrown for 4,000 yards and he had sliced up everybody, then maybe we go to the table and pay you based on the accolades that you brought to the table. But right now, Nico is kind of a mid quarterback, and that's my opinion, but I think there's a lot of people that would side with that. So do you fault him for asking for more money? I mean, look, if you're doing a really good job in your work and you have a conversation with your boss about getting paid a little bit more, okay, that takes place and that's fine. And if you've been doing everything and if you're irreplaceable, you have no choice but to up the ante for these players. He was not a $4 million quarterback. That kind of sounded like a little bit of entitlement. And if people are being entitled, sorry, there's a lot of people that, you're not entitled enough for that $4 million, period. You're not worth it. Nico is not worth it. Sorry, but that's the truth. Contracts would clearly tie these guys in, and maybe that's what we're coming, but you can't fault a lot of the players because they're getting paid, and the collectives are earning a ton of cash. You saw how many people are members of Yale, Alabama. I'm curious to see if Greg Byrne kind of rallies up the troops and starts asking for more money tomorrow from the fans. I mean, would you pay for autographs? Are you paying into Yale, Alabama to pay the players if they don't have contracts? I'm like the $5 member, so I can, just check out and look at the content, which has been pretty good. It hasn't been elite, but it's been interesting. So, here we are with college football. And Nico, I have no idea. And the thing is with Nico, look, he's asking for more money. But what's going to happen with him, I think, I'm curious to see the teams that go after him. Because now it kind of seems like a him problem and his dad calling out Pete Nakos. His dad said that Pete Nakos for On3 was making up stories. Yo, Pete Nakos, as we've talked about before, that guy's been he's like under Chris Lowe. Man, I don't even know. And he's a young cat. I don't even know if that dude, he looks like he's 20 years old. And the guy's doing a hell of a job breaking these stories. And he called Nico's dad and he's like, yo, is this happening? And Nico's dad called him a expletive on social media only for this all to happen after. That was messed up. Because the guy's been doing a really, really good job. I just don't know now because of his dad and because of Nico and the way that they handled this, who's going to want somebody like him? I don't know. Character issues, right? Before we go into A-Day and start talking about some observations, kind of all this week, and in fact, you'll be hearing from Coach Kalen DeBoer today. Let me see what time Coach DeBoer will be up. Okay, so he'll be speaking this morning. So when Coach Kalen DeBoer has kind of put things together and spoke, I'll bring that right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So be expecting a Coach Kalen DeBoer press conference to be uploaded 12 to 1 p.m., something like that. Keep your head on the swivel. This is a hell of a good story, okay? Jalen Hell, who's back, who suffered a season-ending injury last year, said this: I want to thank everybody that came out today to see us, especially the ones to see my return to the field. This was deep, man. This guy suffered a very terrible injury that sidelined him. Patriot Life in with 5 fan funded ships. We appreciate you, Patriot Life. Thank you so much, bro. Good to see you, man. Sorry you couldn't be at A-Day. We'll catch you next one. If there is one, I have no idea. I really appreciate everyone and the ones that stayed and waited for me to sign an autograph during A-Day. I have a lot more work to do, but ready for this upcoming season. This is great. And when you think about positive stories and you want to get behind one of the players that is all in on Alabama and somebody who's had to recover to get to this point in time. I mean, how many of you out there that have gone through something that has really sidelined you in life and taken you away from something? Yo, that's terrible. But this guy had the right mental fortitude to push through. Of course, it helps when you have Jeff Allen. But to see him at this point, and I was watching Jalen Hill. There was a time he went off false start. But I was watching him, how he moved. Yo, he looks close to 100% to me. So that is a huge deal. I am so happy for Jalen Hill. All right, so getting to the A-Day recap, and I'm sure you guys already saw my video breakdown and my reactionary video, and I had a video that went out yesterday kind of speaking about some more high level and a couple game ball players. Let's see what Bilal has to say inside the comment box. So what are the chances we lose a defensive lineman, Keon Keeley? I've been waiting to see this young man play for 2 years. We'll talk about potential guys. I guess, it might make sense for some guy to leave or whatever. I have no idea. We have no idea who's going to leave. I think we have a better understanding of where the depth chart might sit. But, man, they didn't show anything at the practice, really. Like, I know we can say this or that about the quarterbacks or some other things about, what we saw from the wide receivers. But, man, they kept it real light. They didn't want to show much, and I don't blame them. I still stand by what I said about the quarterbacks. And you know what's crazy about this whole quarterback deal? I don't know why people come inside the comment box and say that I don't like one of the quarterbacks. That's not true. I want the best quarterback to play. And I still stand by this. From what I saw on Saturday, just Saturday with my own 2 eyeballs, I don't think I was like, damn, that's the guy. That's him. He's better than this guy. That guy's better. That didn't really stand out to me. Who would I start Saturday? Ty Simpson, 1,000,000%. Because of the experience, because it doesn't seem like many of those guys have separated. So I go with experience and the athleticism and the things that I think that Ty Simpson can do. For those of you out there, it's like, oh, Kyle doesn't like Ty Simpson. Stop. It's like it's not true. No, but I'm rocking the Alabama baseball. I know Alabama baseball, they lost series 2-3 to Mississippi State. They've actually kind of been a little bit bumpy the last, several games in SEC play. But the jersey's tight, right? Look at this. And if you want, this was at Dick's Sporting Goods as well. Ebony Carter, what's up? Noah looked great. Love that wolf position for sure. Thanks for rocking with us. See, Matt, I'm with you, bro. Like, it doesn't seem like no one has claimed the job yet. And that's good. That's going to make those guys continue to work harder. And I'm sure they might be piping my voice in and be like, yo, this guy doesn't believe in you. Be the guy. Take the job and be the best person for the job. Command the entire team. Be a leader. Be the dog on offense. That's what we want at quarterback. Outside of the quarterback deal, Austin Mack threw 2 interceptions. Clint Lamb pointed out that he should have thrown 3, which I didn't see, but he should have thrown 3. Keelan Russell, his first pass was intercepted by Ivan Taylor. In the one-on-one situations, it was nice to see those guys throw the deep ball to receivers against some high-level defensive backs. The defensive backs on this team, you're in a lot better position than you were a year ago. One of the guys that I wanted to point out for sure is Derek Meadows. I don't know because I already have what I feel is like the starting wide receivers. Ryan Williams, Jerry Bernard, Isaiah Horton. You know all that. And look, this is not like a ranking what I'm talking about. I'm talking about one particular player that stood out to me, and that's Derek Meadows. Derek, because we really hadn't seen a lot of video of Derek Meadows. We've heard Coach Kalen DeBoer talk about him for a couple times, but we didn't see a lot from him. We didn't see much from anybody. Like, they kept a lot of things tight, which I understand. But Derek Meadows is a baller, man. In one-on-one situations, he was good. There was a couple times that he connected with Keelan Russell, in like one-on-one situations. It looked good. Like, that's the future that's coming to Alabama. You have Derek Meadows, your bigger wide receiver. You have your inside slot, Lazier Brooks. Those are the foundational pieces of the offense, and that's something to get excited about. Like, yeah, it's one thing to, who's going to be the starter against Florida State, but what does the long-term process here at Alabama look like from the freshmen? And the freshmen that Alabama have here, we're talking, another freshman is Abdul Sanders on the defensive side. That guy is, he might be one of the top 5, top 6 freshmen. Ivan Taylor, he's another guy on the defensive side. So I'm just talking about freshmen, but the one-on-one situations, I also saw some of the defensive backs going in one-on-one situations look good. I mean, Dejon Lee, he's number 5 if you rewatch the footage. He's great. Red Morgan, wanted to point him out. Someone pointed him out inside the comment box. Red Morgan's a baller. He looks much better this year. He looks much better year over year. Running backs, it was light work. Did Jam Miller even have 10 carries? I don't think so. We know what Jam is capable of. I was watching Richard Young. Richard Young looked really good, gave him a game ball. Draylon Washington, whoa, that dude, talking about an 8A riser, 100%. Hey, Christopher, what's up, man? I appreciate you, bro. Christopher, man. Christopher A-Day? Is that your name? That's tight. So what's up on this trip? I appreciate it, bro. Good to see you, man. Let's see what Miss Ebony Carter has to say inside the comment box. Fans complaining about the 8A format. Also, hella complaining about the kids hitting the portal make no sense. Never satisfied. We're always mad. Fans are fanatical. The format to me, what was cool, I think for me seeing like a full practice, because it's been a while since I've seen like a full practice. And I like the college practice because of what they came out and they basically went on to like a dynamic warm-up. They stretched real quick and then went on to game situations. And then they came back and they went on to one-on-ones. And then after that, they went into individual drills. And then they went on to 7-on-7. And then they went into more game situational drills. And then kind of that was it. It was very up-tempo. There was music and stuff like that. But at a college practice, the great thing about it is it's about repetition. So you have a lot of the guys just repping, all positions. And they split out the positional groups across the field. So being able to see those guys get work in during that hour and some change period was really good. The fan attendance, I think it was low. As we said, it was like 17 or 20 or whatever it was. I think this is common for right now across college football. I know Auburn didn't have a lot of people turn out. Same thing with Oklahoma. I personally don't think that these 8 days will happen anymore. I think it'll either move to like OTAs or they'll just have spring practice with no A-Day. And that's just college football right now. College football is changing. We're going to find out a lot more with July 1 with this House versus NCAA settlement on what's going to happen, how the universities are going to be able to pay the players, and there'll be more things that we have to go through. But until there's like solidified contracts, and I think the more that the players make money, I think the less that we're going to see spring players playing in spring football because of the chances of them getting hurt. Like, you can't have a player like Jalen Hell get hurt in spring and miss the entire fall, right? And that's what happened to him last year. These guys are worth millions of dollars. Let's talk about A-Day risers. I'll quickly go through it. And throughout the week, we'll continue to build on this as well. We'll go position by position, probably starting tomorrow. Start with the quarterbacks, running backs, so forth to get through the end of the week. But just real quickly, and this is not like my final list by any sort of stretch of the imagination, but I think A-Day risers, Draylen Washington at the running back position. I left impressed with him for sure. Tight ends, there was only one scholarship guy on the tight end position. Offensive line, to be honest, I just still haven't really had a chance to like really kind of dive in. It's been nice to see that Olas Alanen is a versatile offensive lineman that can play tackle or that can play inside. We don't talk about him that often. Defensive side of the ball, LT Overton, Keon Keeley, Jordan Renard, love that entire group. I really do. The Wolf position, Ebony, Noah looks great in year 2. The second Wolf to come off the bench after Quay Rusa was Yanzi Pierre. The entire Wolf position are risers. Justin Hill's right there. I don't know if I saw Kevontae Henry. I have to go back and look. I need to write that down. Because I was filming the Wolves, but I don't remember if I saw Kevontae Henry at that position. I have to find out. A-Day riser, Abdul Sanders. That guy's really good. You know who's really good too is he was much more impressive this year's QB Reese at inside linebacker. Those guys will be reserves. I don't know how much they'll play this year, but Abdul Sanders and QB Reese really good. Red Morgan did a hell of a job. Red Morgan's much better than he was last year. I don't know. And that just tells you about the secondary, like how deep the secondary is. Zay Mincy saw him doing a good job. Oh, Daryl Duke Johnson. Daryl Duke Johnson's good too. Those younger linebackers. Dejon Lee, we've talked about him. Xavier Brown looks great too. He was the first defensive back within the reps. He looks great. Derek Meadows, I talked about him. Rico Scott, he looked great. All the wide receivers are dope. The kickers, I saw a little bit of the kickers before, like Connor Talty. I know that Jay Nunez, who's a special teams coach, has a lot of confidence in Connor Talty, but we haven't seen him kick yet. All right, remaining question marks. I think the biggest one is like the remaining question marks are how many we get in the transfer portal. And the poll question today is more than 5, less than 5. I don't even know. I haven't looked. Let's see. What is the... I can't even see the poll results. Let me try to see the poll results on this other side. The transfer portal opens tomorrow. I have no idea. I haven't heard like rumors or anything about that, like which guys are going to leave. Do I think that guys are going to hit the transfer portal tomorrow? Less than 5 is 55%. There's going to be some guys that hit the transfer portal. It's not going to be a mass exodus. There'll probably be a couple players that hit, and it'll hurt because we do invest time and energy into these players, but that's have some thick skin. John, what's up, man? Appreciate you, bro. Nice avatar. I like the tie. Thanks for being here, bro. Let's see what B-Rob has to say. B-Rob says, as I watch on social media, this team seems close. I've seen Horton and Lawson and Ty posting pics together on Instagram and a bunch of players reposting posts to Keelan on social media. I kind of get that as well. Hey, Matt Dunn, thanks for becoming a fan funder, bro. That's what's up. And that's important. And I think since the tracks were laid last year, you're probably going to have a little bit more continuity at this point in time. It seems like they do. I just don't know, who have been like the real leaders, and we'll find that out as we go forward. Ebony Carter's pointing out that defense wins championships. with 8 or 9 returner starters on, the defensive side, we all like that. It was good to see Deontay Lawson kind of moving around. This is interesting, too. Unfortunately, most transfers end up worse. I think you're right on this, man. Lance brings up a really good point. This is the thing. It's like the grass is not greener. There's some guys that will go and they'll contribute, but most of the guys, it doesn't seem to pan out for them. And most of the guys that bounce out are kind of those lower level reserves that aren't patient and just wait their turn. I don't know. This is a tough poll. More than 5? I don't know. I'm going to say less. Put the receipts down as less than 5. It's a 10-day window, the 15th through the 25th. I don't know. Will there be 2 or 3 guys? For sure. Will there be like a mega guy that leaves? I don't think so. I mean, you saw how many Yale, Alabama people were there yesterday. I would imagine that they have enough funds to pay all these players, whatever they're being paid. North Alabama Storm Chase is saying 5. Okay, the difficult question here at the bottom. Transfer portal opens. Like, who would make sense to leave? I think the areas that you look at for Alabama that are so loaded that it might be tough for a reserve or somebody that could be a starter to play at, I would probably say the wide receiver position. I think that makes sense to everybody. You have so many guys at that wide receiver position. How many guys can you get on the field? That's the tough part. The good part is I think you have one of the 3 quarterbacks, whoever it is, all 3 of them, that can operate enough to get all the wide receivers opportunities. The downside is you have a megastar in the room with Ryan Williams that needs to catch he needs to be targeted like 10 times a game. So I think if one of the wide receivers, that's probably an area that I could see somebody leaving at. I don't know. I'm not sure about running back because Daniel Hill hasn't been 100%. You have 4 running backs that I think will be. I think Jam will be starter. Richard will be rotating. I think Draylen Washington and Daniel Hill will get opportunities, and I think Kevin Riley and A.K. Deere are just coming up. There's no need for those guys to bounce out. I don't think Kevin Riley and A.K. Deere, no disrespect to the players, I don't think that those guys would be instant impact starters in the SEC or the Big Ten right now in their career. That's not a knock on them. They're just in the developmental process. So it doesn't make sense for those guys to leave. That's why I think the running back room stays intact. Wide receivers, there's a lot of guys. There's wide receivers that could be starters in the SEC, Big Ten, ACC 100%. Rico Scott's one of them. Cole Adams is another one. Like those guys, Jalen Hale is probably another one. I think those guys could be starters at other programs. That's why it could make sense. Are those guys leaving? We have no idea. Offensive line, I could see maybe one of the 16 offensive linemen leaving. Like, who's capable to be a starter? Like, what about Rock Montgomery? Haven't heard anything about him at all. I really hope Casey Poe is patient. He'll get to play in the future. I don't know how much he'll play this year, but some of those guys are pretty good. Defensive line, I think those guys will all get opportunities. Bandit position, maybe. I'm hoping, Keon Keeley stays. That's kind of the big thing is like, is he going to leave? We've never even heard that if he's going to leave or not. Linebackers, your linebacker already left. Justin Okoronkwo. Those other guys already had the opportunity to leave. I don't think they're going anywhere. They're younger. They're not ready to start. QB Reese, is he moving in the right direction? Yeah, but he's not ready to start. Same thing with Caden Jones. It's not a knock if you're not capable to start or ready to start right now. It's just you're getting there. Corners, maybe a corner. There's a lot of talent in that corner room. A lot of guys. They're so good within the 2 deep. So I'm going to say wide receiver or a corner. And that's kind of the areas that you're looking at for transfer portal. Maybe someone else on defense. But let me ask you this. Let's flip the script. Who would you like to see Alabama go after in the transfer portal? What position? Name 2 positions that you think Alabama should focus in tomorrow as they draw up their transfer portal big board now that we've kind of went over and seen spring football. Some people have said a quarterback. I don't agree with that. I think you're fine with the quarterbacks that you have. You definitely don't need a running back. Tight end. I know you're going to say tight end. Tight end for sure. Let me ask you this. Does Alabama need a right tackle? Or are you good with Welcome Formby? Lance, it's all good, bro. Blocking tight end, right? So Max still wants to tackle. Tight end, it seems like offensive line, tight end seem to be, and defensive line. So I'd probably say those 3 areas as well. How about a kicker? Or you guys go with Connor Talty? We just don't know about Connor Talty. I would like if Alabama just had a little bit more experience at the kicking position. A lot of people go with Formby. You know what? I'm kind of on that same boat too. Coach has been talking good things about Welcome Formby. And it seems like he's kind of emerged as kind of a leader. He's best friends with Caden Proctor. He did play last year. He does have experience. And it seems like the 2s at the tackle position are pretty good as well. Like, or at least coming along. I mean, like, whether that's Olas Alanin or Jackson Lloyd or Michael Carroll seems like he could play inside or out. Javion saying edge. I don't think you need an edge rusher, bro. I think like the Wolf. I mean, shoot, Ja Latham, Quay, Yanze, Noah Carter, Justin Hill, the Bandit, LT Overton, Keon Keeley. I think you have plenty of edge rusher. I think you have plenty of talent to get after the quarterback. King's family is saying that Connor Talty was knocking him down in warmups. Matt Dunn says, I think Proctor right tackle, and we need a true left tackle. And Caden Proctor will be 100% by the season. Brent, what's up, man? And see you inside the comment box. I don't know. The fact that we haven't heard much about Connor Talty makes me feel good about him. Kind of like no news is good news. Oh, I like that. I can see that. Old Matt Bama says, need one more flex tackle. Jackson Lloyd will be great, but needs time. I'm cosign. Byron, what's up, man? Watch for Gavin Hoffman, tight end from Iowa. Google him. Appreciate it. What's up, Byron? Good to see you, bro. North Alabama Storm Chase has organized it like this. Kicker, punter, O-line, linebacker, defensive line. I think you're good at linebacker. I wouldn't be mad about an offensive lineman. Kicker and punter, kind of who knows. Maybe it's no news is good news. Old Man Bama says Talty has been consistent all spring. Good to hear. I guess look, this photo went out there. I think this is from Nick Kelly, who works for AL.com, does a really great job. So A-Day 24 versus A-Day 25. I think you saw a lot of this across college football. Does it mean that college football is dying? No. It just means that college football is changing. And the programs across the country are trying to figure out how to pay the players the most money. And right now, this was one of their ideas was to charge for autographs and to have a practice. This was their idea because the transfer portal's tomorrow. Do I miss the old A-Day football game? Yeah. The A-Day football game, the whole beans and steak playing for, that was cool. Splitting up the teams and having different coaches. That was like, it was a game. It was a tradition. Coach Kalen DeBoer has nothing to do with like killing that tradition. If the transfer portal didn't exist tomorrow, or the second window, I would imagine that they would still have a spring game. So I've seen a lot of people out there be like, oh, Kalen DeBoer killed it. Look, I don't agree with a lot of things that he does, but he was not trying to kill, a tradition. College football did this, not Coach Kalen DeBoer. And was it like this, or is this like fake news? No, this was it. This is a good representation of what I saw too. I was over here. Let's see. I was like over here. Brett says, this is where I miss Saban, me coaching style through, because he'd have a backup linebackers and DLs taking reps at tight end. William Sanders, an offensive lineman, was basically like as an H-back. King's family says, aren't they trying to take away the spring window? Yeah, I think this, and that's why I'm not completely sure if this is kind of the end of spring football, but they're trying to do away with this window. They want just one window, which is after the entire season has completed. So, as you know, the college football keeps getting pushed back. Like, what was a championship game on the 20th of January? Then it would be from like January to whatever the transfer portal window opens. I don't know how that works out with like school enrollment and stuff like that. I think those are other bridges you have to cross. But was attendance down? Yeah, it was down. One more time, this is the line for Ryan Williams to get an autograph. It like kind of snaked around like this. And then there was like other players that you could get autographs as well. And Coach Kalen DeBoer was like way over here on this end zone. You saw Ryan sign some dude's forehead. That was interesting. One more time to go over a couple game balls. Richard Young thought he looked really nice along with Jalen Washington. The transfer in, Derek Meadows, I thought he did a great job. Rico Scott looked nice. Of course, Lazier Brooks. Isaiah Horton caught the touchdown pass. These are a couple, like Isaiah Horton, we knew he was going to be good. But I didn't expect him to catch a touchdown from Jeremy Bernard. It was like a reverse pass, and Jeremy Bernard, I'm sure you saw the clip. There was a couple people who have it out there on film. And then the secondary, they look good. Ivan Taylor right here, solid. Can't wait to see Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard. Oh, that's a hell of a duo for sure. So that's 8-day practice. I thought it was nice. I mean, it's kind of short, but I think it was still an opportunity for people to come together and, have some continuity and get together and celebrate Alabama football, who I think is going to be better. Overall, this is going to be a better year for Alabama football than it was last year. There's more structure in place. Vanna, what's up? We got a super chat up in the house. Vanna says, attendance was down for a lot of colleges, 100%. I don't blame the coaching staff for not showing much during A-Day. I have faith in the staff. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of what they did was pretty simple. Like, I don't think they ever run that play with Jeremy Bernard throwing a pass to Isaiah Horton. They're just trying to have fun with it. Maybe loosen up the mood a little bit. And it worked out to be a touchdown. How about that? But, yeah, I mean, they can't show all their cards at that point in time. I appreciate the super chat. A-Rat, what's up, man? The great Josh Pate has a good segment on the lack of involvement, of the lack of a better term. College football has been rapidly shifting due to mismanagement from the top, due to the people with their hands at the wheel. Yeah, I saw that on X. Yeah, he does such a great job. Yeah, who's driving the bus, right? And that's kind of why I say you can't fault a lot of the players for what they're doing, because the lack of guardrails, there's no guardrails. I think we'll try to get back on track a little bit with July 1, but until there's like some firm contracts and some real structure in place, Your guess is as good as mine on who's going to hit the transfer portal, who stays here. No, 100%. Dan Caraway, inside the comment box, says, saw an amazing throw and toe tap touchdown from Keelan right in front of me. It was at the tunnel of the fence. Was that to Derek Meadows? I think it might have been to Derek Meadows. 5 Adam says, Meadows runs routes like a small wide receiver. That was the thing that Courtney Morgan, I think, was saying in one of the interviews that he did. Was he was like, Derek Meadows, for being 6'6", he's not just like lanky. He's shifty. We saw that for sure. All right, so here's what to watch going forward for the rest of this day. You have Coach Kalen DeBoer at 11:30. Once that interview is complete, I'll bring it back here to the YouTube channel. If he says anything mega noteworthy, I'll kind of, chop it up side by side. We'll break it down. He'll say it. We'll talk, you know how we do it here. Kind of go into it a little bit deeper on what he might be saying. The rest of this week will still be here at 10 a.m., breaking down the positions. And then as mega news happens, transfer portal, whatever, I'll be on live or I'll bust out a video that pertains to that topic, okay? Whether that's a transfer coming in, whether that's a transfer going out. Transfer portal opens up midnight tonight. I have no idea who's going to hit the transfer portal. I would imagine that it's not going to be like this land rush of players that want to get out. If I had to predict, I think it will be pretty low key. Though there might be a guy or two that hurts, but that's the name of the game. But I think overall, you got some good cohesiveness with this group. All the coaches are back, and I think a lot of these players are probably starting to learn that grass always isn't greener, right? Sometimes going to a place is better for you. Stay patient. Iron sharpens iron. Keep practicing against the best, right? That's what we can do. And I appreciate you guys rocking with me every single day right here on YouTube. And I get a lot of questions about my hats. I get them at Chris Mobley, which is a store here in Tuscaloosa. So you can tell them that I sent you. I also have a daily men's devotional channel. Here's a link. Taking Steps Forward in My Faith. It's a daily channel, just short uploads. Sometimes I'll have some interviews on there. So check it out if you're into that. I appreciate you guys. Stay where your feet are at. Stay blessed. And as news happens, I got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Oh, Alex asking about the shirt. Rolled through yesterday. Daughter needed knee pads for volleyball, and I saw this jersey. So, I thought it looked straight up. I thought it was fire. I was like, damn, that's tight. I was like, that's good. Chad asking about Jalen Mbakwe. Look good. And it's just, that's another area. It's like, it's so buried in terms of wide receivers. It's going to be hard for a lot of those guys to get on the field. That's nothing against Jalen Mbakwe. The guy's good. Oh, Pearl's fine. Yeah, you want to see Pearl real quick? I'll bring her over. Oh, well, I haven't showed Peach in a long time, too. So let's get Peach. Oh, my goodness. Peach is she's a big Frenchie. Ugh. So here's Peach. All 32 pounds of her. Peach is 32 pounds. So she's doing good. This is my 5-star athlete. The athleticism of this dog is incredible. She kind of always has like a mean mug, but she's the defender of the house. So she's doing really good. Big dog. And then they always sit right here. I have like a chair by my office that they post up on. And then here's Pearl. Pearl is 10 pounds. So she's a lot smaller than Peach, and we almost lost her in January if you're following, our shows. So she had a pet toxicity, and Steel City in Birmingham saved her life. So this is Pearl. She's doing great. And, both the girls are doing good. Kids are doing good, too. So I appreciate you guys following. I appreciate you guys rocking with me, as always. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Catch you soon. Catch you as news happens. Coach Kalen DeBoer, 11:30. Bring that back when I can right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Love you, fam. Stay blessed.